Was talking about heart and mind in the series of Let's Meditate video courses, and this is the original document that I was referring to, which I thought may be meaningful to share. Original title is Infinite and Finite, but I translated because it's easier to know more specifically. Infinite is like a heart, and finite is like a mind. So first is the summary by Gemini about the document. So let me read this one, and then following that I'll get into the specifics. This document, based on the work of Daichi Suzuki, explores the paradox between the infinite, I call it heart, and the finite, I call it mind, illustrating how human sufferings and religion arise from the constant struggle and reconciliation between these two opposite concepts. The infinite is characterized by great wisdom, great compassion, Nirvana, unrestrained playfulness, spontaneous suchness, and qualities that respond when sought and forgive all. The finite encompasses discriminating intellect, love and hatred, life and death, karma and causality, human artifice, ceaseless desire, and fear of condemnation. These two categories are presented as absolutely incompatible, yet perpetually striving for reconciliation. Religion emerges from the struggle, daring to embrace what is logically untenable, while philosophical resolution is intellectual and never final. Religious resolution stems from lived experience, offering ultimate, decisive, and irrepressible peace to individuals. The document emphasizes that relying solely on the finite leads to superficial and strained efforts. True vitality and effortless action arise when the infinite comes into play, dissolving conscious striving and leading to actions from an inner necessity. This principle extends to unity with the environment, while kinship and sincerity, rather than intellectual force, reveal its hidden gifts. Transcending limitation involves recognizing that all boundaries are expressions of the boundless, dissolving conflict and allowing love and compassion to flow spontaneously. So this is the actual translation from the original written by Daichi Suzuki in Japanese. And the translation was done by DeepSeek. You can read this in the description that I add as a Google Doc, but let me read it. The title: The Paradox Between the Infinite and Finite, or Heart and Mind. Religion encompasses two opposite ideas, and from their relationship emerges human religious life. For now, let us call these two ideas the infinite and the finite. Within the infinite, we find great wisdom, great compassion, Nirvana, unrestrained playfulness, spontaneous suchness, that which responds when sought, that which forgives all. Within the finite, we find discriminating intellect, love and hatred, life and death, karma and causality, human artifice, that which ceaselessly desires, that which fears condemnation. The elements listed in these two categories are absolutely incompatible, yet they constantly oppose each other while perpetually striving for reconciliation. It is precisely in this unceasing struggle that human suffering arises, and from this, religion is born. The second series stands in complete opposition to the first in every sense, occupying an irreconcilable position, yet the reflective awareness arising within the second series seeks, by any means, to establish a relationship with that which negates it in an absolute sense. Even if logically impossible, the religious consciousness insists on making it experientially possible. Religion emerges precisely where it dares to embrace the logically untenable, the irrational as it is. When religion primarily manifests as an intellectual reflection, philosophers may engage with it. But when emotional reflection outweighs intellectual reflection, a kind of religious resolution forms between the two series. Ordinary people are neither philosophers nor religious practitioners in the strict sense. They carry both within themselves in an indistinct manner, living and dying just as they are. Even a philosophical resolution, being intellectual, is never final. The religious practitioner, however, rejects this. Their resolution is not intellectual, but arises from the very facts of lived experience. Thus, for them, it is ultimate, decisive, and irreplaceable. Philosophy may claim universal applicability and deepen across ages, but religion brings peace and final resolution to each individual. For religious practitioner, thought and life are inseparable. Religion is fully immersed in the very fabric of their personal existence. So that's adapted from Daichi Suzuki's Complete Works, Volume 10, page 16 to 21. Let's continue, just a few more paragraphs. I am condensing to a few paragraphs, so it's not the complete translation, but may carry its own weight. Those who perceive only the second series, the finite, can never manifest true vitality. Even if something appears to emerge, its source inevitably dries up. Without the infinite, effort remains superficial, mere posturing devoid of life. One senses a straight rigidity bound by the self-consciousness of striving. Yet when the first series, which is the infinite, comes into play, This strained effort dissolves. What may seem extraordinary to others feels utterly natural to the individual, for they act from an inner necessity, an impulse arising not as an external command, but from the depths of their being. Just a couple more. So about beyond dualism or effortless unity. The legs move most, let me just move. The legs move most freely when one forgets they exist. The most effective action, where true mastery shines, occurs even without the thought of unity of body and mind, or heart and mind. One must reach a state where it's unclear whether the hand is oneself or ourselves is the hand. What was once separated by discriminating awareness must now return to non-discriminating wisdom. This principle applies universally. Take horseback riding. The rider and the horse must become one. If the rider consciously thinks, I'm on the horse, controlling it with my will, the horse resists. The true freedom comes only with the unity of rider and steed. What's called no rider on the saddle, no horse beneath it. Skill vanishes, leaving only a single will moving between them. The same holds for our relationship with the environment. The more humans restore their innate kinship with it, the more the environment surrenders its hidden gifts. This isn't about wresting secrets through intellectual force, but knocking on its door with prayer. The sincerity of that prayer determines how widely the door opens. Discriminating intellect must be rooted in sincerity. Rather than framing humans and the environment as adversaries, imagine the environment willingly revealing its secrets, collaborating with humans to amplify their spiritual power. This perspective brings profound stability, a sense of finally settling where one belongs. Another segment about transcending limitation. As long as humans remain confined to the second series, which is the mind, or finite, they are bound by finitude. But to recognize limitation as limitation is to break its chains. The recognition reveals that all boundaries are expressions of the boundless. With this, the conflict between humans and environment dissolves. We can call the environment as nature. No longer must we impose force, instead love and great compassion, flowing spontaneously from the world itself, merging and embracing all. So that's it. I have a little personal note. Incidentally, I once attempted to adapt these principles, aligned with the Kegon Buddhist worldview, into a book on business leadership. It's titled Results from the Heart. And I say, yet perhaps due to insufficient sincerity or other flaws I had, its reception was not what I desired. That's a finite mind. The path remains challenging. but I continue refining this work, perhaps through you too. So that's the paradox between infinite and finite. And I said heart and mind. Or we can say body and mind, as Daichi mentioned. Thank you for listening. May all beings be happy.